Hello, everybody. Chris with 911 Card Games back with day 8 of my Earthborne Rangers campaign. Excuse me. So, I did decide to do a little bit of a change from how I ended day 7. So, day 7, I was in Scuttler's Network. I dug out my companions, and then I came over here to Orland Vault because I need to go down underneath, thinking I could come here, over. What I didn't realize is this is a locked passage. So there's no way to get to this side of the passage or this side of the map until you get some equipment. So I need to either find a rebreather to go through these water routes or figure out how to open up a locked door. So there's no point in coming this way. I need to find a specific person that's down here. And I remember from when I went through that area earlier, it is up here at the Oasis of Sunlight. So instead of traveling down here, I just changed the campaign to say I traveled up here rather than try to come across. So, because I didn't look at the map close enough. So, yell at me if you want for being a cheater, but decided to do that. So I'm coming up to the Scuttler's Network, up through the cave system into the Oasis of Sunlight. Oasis of Sunlight, I do need to take 3 cards from the wood set from above ground and add it to the deck. I already did. So, and we are still in the, actually we are on that side, the shimmering runoff weather today. All right. So, somewhat disoriented from your journey underground, you're unsure of where in the valley this massive sinkhole is located, but it must be well guarded by the surrounding wilderness and inaccessible to any but the most intrepid and reclusive of explorers. Wherever you are, you welcome the sight of the clouds overhead and breathe deeply, the fresh air a tonic to your lungs. As you marvel at the exposed earthen walls, shot through with intricate root systems entangled with the Estian ruins, you discover a series of climbers' pitons wedged into a narrow fissure, describing a path up to the surface. Judging by the cleanliness of the pitons and the marks on the wall, you determine that someone must have climbed down here fairly recently. Search the general set for Lun, Curious Scavenger, and shuffle them into the path deck. So I do have them in here, but I will give the path deck another shuffle. Right, that's the guy that I need to find to get stuff. So let's see here. Lead Ranger draws a path card, and I draw a Caustic Mulcher. Oh, well, that came from above ground. That's going to be a pain. So Caustic Mulcher is one of the bad guys, or not villains, but creatures that is a pain in the butt from above ground. So it is a 3 presence, 6 harm, 9 connect threshold. It says beings attached to this being do not ready. And Yellow Sun challenge effect is if there's another being, exhaust it and attach it here. If there aren't any other beings, move your ranger token to it. The red challenge effect is add 1 harm to each being attached to this biomeld, and each ranger suffers an injury. And then you can do a fitness test to try to yank whoever is being eaten by the Caustic Mulcher out. All right, well, that's going to be an interesting way to start things. All right, so we've got a bold, we've got a compassionate, we've got to follow my footsteps, a deliberate, wonders of the valley, and a Cordo's instinct. I'm going to keep compassionate and Cordo's instinct, and I'm going to actually pitch the rest. Stout-hearted Gutter, oh, brilliant. Last couple of days I haven't seen that. Quiet could be handy. Pakoto the Ferret. That's not bad either. Last one is a Gauze Blade. All right. Let us start up by drawing a path card. What do we get here? We get a Timid Talpid. Okay. 1 presence, 2 harm, 4 progress. And if I clear him with progress, I get to scout a path card. All right. That is... So we're going to spend 2 to get the Guardian, my Stout-Hearted Guardian out, because that kind of leaves me going here. I'm going to spend 2 to get quiet out. You know, we're going to spend 2 to play Cordo's Instinct. So I get to search the path deck for a card and place it at the top or bottom. Wonder what I'm going to look for here. There he is, right in the middle. So Lun, Curious Scavenger, will be on top. I'm going to pull him out early because I got another being that I can feed to the Caustic Mulcher if I need to. And put you on top. Alright, I'm going to hold off on trying any tests at this point. Just because I don't want to trigger I don't want to trigger the Caustic Mulcher to start pulling people in. Alright, so I'm going to end my turn and rest. I would sick Quiet on him if I could kill him with Quiet, but unfortunately, while Quiet does 3 damage, he'll take 3 damage in return, so I would need 2 swings with Quiet to get him out, and I don't want to do that. Alright, so I need to draw a card. It is Follow in Footsteps. And, hey, look, it is Lun, the Curious Scavenger. He comes in 159. He is a 2 presence, 4 harm, 4 per ranger progress. He is friendly. And he has pretty much the standard challenge effects, Yellow Sun. Well, I guess it's not standard for Yellow Sun. You may discard 2 progress from Lun to exhaust an obstacle, or the red crest is typically the same if there's a predator. Alright, I am at the Oasis of Sunlight. Not far from where you discovered the Patans, you come across a man wearing an oversized ranger's cloak, closely inspecting an exposed section of Arcology ruins. Besides him sits a backpack bursting with supplies from every pouch and pocket. "Oh!" Lun yells, startled. "I didn't expect to run into anyone else out and about, what with everyone congregating at the chimney and all. What a pleasant surprise." He beckons you closer. "I know what you're thinking. Who's watching over the northern outpost if I'm down here in this hole? Well, don't you worry about it," he says with a wave of his hand. "I've been stationed in that dark old forest for years. It practically takes care of itself. Besides, I wasn't about to sit around while everyone else was off exploring the Arcology. Imagine all the Estian gadgets sitting in the dark, collecting dust, just waiting to be found." Lun gestured to his overstuffed pack. "You never know what you'll need out in the wilderness, let alone in this strange subterranean maze. Why, just a few days ago, a little deeper in, I found a completely flooded passage. Couldn't get through no way, no how. But then I remembered the device I got from Ren Kobo a few years ago. Devices that let you breathe underwater. Imagine that. I ran back to the outpost and dug them out of storage. Got them right here, somewhere." Clear Lun with progress to ask him about the device. So do I just try to clear him, or do I try to go do something with him? Well, first things first, I'm going to spend 1 to get a gauze blade out. Because I might have to stab myself a Caustic Mulcher. Yeah, let's just try to... Well, yeah, let's just go all in trying to get Lun, because I really need the rebreather. So I'm going to go 5 to 2. 0, so I succeed with 5 progress, which is enough to clear him. You ask Lun about the devices that allow you to breathe underwater, and the eccentric ranger lights up. "One of the most interesting devices I've ever seen. Estian, no less," he says, producing a small cask of brown lacquered wood from his pack. Inside are several intricately crafted collars. "I went to the Golden Shore to give them a try. Ren Kobo warned me that they were running low on juice, and he wasn't wrong. After about a minute of breathing easy as can be, the thing stopped working. I had to swim for my life. He shakes his head. You know me, I love to tinker, but I couldn't get it to work with our power cells. I thought maybe I'd find something down here that could help. It runs on the quantumly entangled photons contained in these little glass cubes the Estians were found of. Let's call them quantum cubes for short. I found some in the rubble, but so far they're all either dead or broken. Lund lifts a collar from the case. You know what? He says. I think you should take them with you. Usually I'd want something in trade, but the universe conspired for us to cross paths here in this isolated sinkhole, and I have a feeling this is the reason. He hands you the case and gathers his pack. You're sure to find some of the cubes on your journey. Just keep your eyes open for piles of rubble. Once you do, just insert the cube into this here socket, and it should power right up. Gain the Breathe Easier mission, and discard Lun. Each ranger soothes 2 fatigue. Alright, let me get the Rebreather mission here before I go on to challenge effects. Alright, Breathe Easier. You're attempting to power up an old Estian rebreather gifted to you by Lun. You must search through any rubble you come across to find functional quantum cube, then plug it into the device. Path deck assembly. If the location is in the Arcology, search the general set for 4 shifting rubble and shuffle them into the deck. Response. After you clear a shifting rubble, draw a challenge card and resolve the effect corresponding to a challenge icon. If it's a yellow sun, add 2 quantum cubes to the mission. Blue mountain, add 1 quantum cube to the mission, then draw a path card. And red crest, just ready all beings. And we need to get 2 plus the number of rangers quantum cubes to get them powered on. All right. That is that. So I am not going to do that because I've already set up the path deck. So I have to go someplace else to get that. So, all right. So blue, nothing here, nothing here, nothing on the missions, nothing on you. Here, if there's an active predator, which there is, exhaust it. Add progress to it and harm to this being equal to that creature's presence. Oh, very nice. So we get 3 presence on it, and it devours the timid Talpid. Okay, well, now that he is exhausted, I don't have to worry about things quite so much. I'm going to try to remember my training. I succeed, so I can look at the top card. Stout-Hearted Guardian. I don't need another one of those, so we'll put that on the bottom of the deck. Draw a new card. It is my Ranger badge. Blue Mountain. Nothing is out with the Blue Mountain. Nothing I can really do at the moment. I don't have enough energy to play Pakoto or the Ranger badge. I don't really want to try to attack this guy, and he's already dodged, so not much for me to do there. And I don't want to try to traverse 1-to-1 because I don't want to suffer an injury. So I think we're just going to have to end my turn. So, ready things up, put our energy back, draw a card into a Lambent's Rig. And now we draw a path card, which is an Elevated Passage. All right, let's look at this guy. The narrow suspended walkway rises sharply into the gloom above. It seems navigable, but the steepness of the grade and the trickling water running down the slope should make the climb more difficult. Travel while all ranger tokens are on this feature to move to a location on a higher stratum. So that would help us move up, but we don't want to move up, we want to move down. So luckily it is a presence 0, so I can ignore it entirely. Now let me see what the blue challenge effect here. If there's an active feature with 3 or more total presence, no. So, not going to matter. Okay, so do I? So I need to get 6 more progress on him. The problem is, even if I throw all these in, I'm only 3 to 3, which is not great. If I want to try to avoid him, I'm 2 to 3. That guy is really, really rough. I'm gonna spend 2 to get Pakoto the ferret out. I'm gonna try to connect Pakoto 1-to-1. I succeed, so I get 1 progress on him. Blue Mountain, again, this one is if there are active features with 3 or more total presence, remove your ranger token from this ruin. There are no other features out, and my ranger token isn't on there, so it doesn't matter. So I am going to exhaust this, spend this to get 2 more progress on him, so I'm up to 5. I need more cards, so I'm going to chance to remember my ranger training. 0, I succeed. The bravest ranger. It's not terrible, but I need better stuff than that. So I'm going to put this on the bottom of my deck and draw the top card. It's the bravest ranger. All right, well, we got something that is not a blue mountain. So yellow sun, as a reminder, on glittering rain. Move 1 feature or being and discard runoff equal to its presence, minimum 1. If there are no remaining presence, flip this card. I will move this guy here and remove 1. Now, unfortunately, if there is another active being, there is, and his name is Quiet. Exhaust it and attach it to this biomeld. All right, well, Quiet has been hauled in by the Caustic Mulcher. What do I need to do? Fit plus Conflict Icon 2 to wrest them free of the biomeld. Sure, let's see if we can pull him out. We'll give it a try. 2 to 2. +1, I succeed. So, yoink. That is my Bobcat. Blue Mountain, that's the only guy that happened, so nothing there. And I guess I'm going to end my turn. Energy back. Ready everything up. Draw a card into the sketchbook. That could be handy. But we need a path card first. It is a Prowling Woolhound. All right. Well, at least we have another being for the Caustic Mulcher to chomp on. All right, we're going to try to connect with Pakoto. -1. I succeed with a total effort of 2. Yellow sun. I'll move the Prowling Woolhound out of here. Taking 2 off there. Prowling Woolhound, Yellow sun is ready. Another Prowling Woolhound. Caustic Mulcher says yellow is go latch onto a being. So I've got him going. All right, perfect. All right, we are going to... Oh, somehow I took that off. I'm going to exhaust Pakoto, use a progress to put 2 more on the Mulcher, so I'm at 7 out of 9. I'm going to try to remember my Ranger training. -1, I fail. I will move this thing. Remove 1. If there is another actor being, well, he goes, grabs quiet as well. So let's see if we can yank quiet out. 2 to 2. 0. I succeed. Leave my friend alone, Mulcher. All right. I can't really do anything of note with the awareness. There's no point in moving my there. I guess, sure, I'll spend 1 to get the sketchbook out. I'm not going to sketch anything at the moment because I would love to sketch the Mulcher and be able to exhaust him, but I'm not going to take that test. All right, that is my turn. I am going to rest, and now in refresh, everybody comes back up. Draw a card into a dear friend, which, if I hadn't drawn Cordo's Instinct, would be very useful, but what do we get here now? Oh, Aid of the Ancestors, a moment of the Arcology. Your mind drifts and you become aware of a warm sensation in your heart. It's as though you can feel the collective energy of your ancestors, and you gain an appreciation for all that went into bringing you to this place at this exact moment. Walk fearless. I must choose. I can either walk fearlessly, move your ranger token to a feature and play, or be present with those around you. Attach this moment to a being. Commit 1 effort to all tests that interact with this being. Yeah, we're gonna do it to Picoto. Why not? Get some more on him. I need to check one thing real quick, because I think that Woolhound goes away if I do this. Let me see. Want to face? When a card leaves play, any attached cards to it are discarded. So, all right. We are going to spend the last progress off of Picoto to put 2 more on here. That is 9. Our friendly ferret has convinced the caustic mulcher to move on, and he takes the prowling Woolhound with him. Perfect. All right, let's try to travel here. So we're going to go 2 to 1. Perfect, a +1. So that gets me to 3. So I have enough to travel. Yellow Sun, however, we're going to move this guy. And we now have to flip this over. So we are now in Glitter Rain. So we're going to get fatigued. I'm a little less worried about that since, I've got the Stout-Hearted Guardian out. And now we reshuffle this. All right. Let us commit 1 effort to all tests that interact with this being. I'm going to try to connect to Picoto, so I will be 3 plus the 1 there. That is a 0, so I connect with 4. Red Crest Challenge. Nothing, 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 nothing. Perfect. Let's try to remember my ranger training. 1 to 1. 0, I succeed. My vaulting rod, I'll take the vaulting rod. So I'll leave that at the top of my deck, draw a card. It's the vaulting rod. All right, blue challenge is just all areas are illuminated, which they already are because of where we're at. Nothing else for me to do here, so I am going to choose to rest, and I will travel. Now the question is, where do I go? So I need to go to some place, and then I want to be able to use that rebreather and get down there. So I suppose I don't like the Scuttlers Network because of those all the Scuttlers out there, but if I find them, then I've got this, and I can. Oh no, that's a locked door, so that's no good to me. Nope, it looks like my only path is to come over to the drenching chamber and down. So let's see here. So 1, 2 versus 1, 2, 3. So yep, we're going to the chimney. All right, we are going to travel to the chimney. I will get myself set up and be right back. All right, we have made it over to the chimney. I'm not going to read the chimney entrance text because I've gone through here a few times. Because I didn't come from above ground, I put the plinth into play. I will talk about the plinth, though. The plinth is almost unrecognizable from when you first visited. Silaro's team has rigged up heavy lambence rigs that illuminate the entire space in a warm, golden glow that reminds you of the sunrise over Blind Peak. Even as it dispels the ominous aura that once filled the space, the light lets you appreciate its true grandeur. From distant walls, the roof rises in graceful, bounding arches. Far above, they meet at a cluster of strange spherical structures from which the chimney descends. You see that Silaro and the rest of his team have cleared away any rubble and set up a proper base camp, complete with sleeping tents, a kitchen, research stations, and what appears to be a trading post. You see the quartermaster, Al Grimm, inspecting the expedition store. Clear the plinth with progress while your ranger token is on it to trade with the expedition's quartermaster. So to get there, I need to do awareness plus exploration to browse the available equipment and move your ranger token to the feature. All right, and that's it. I don't draw any cards. I think this is actually a great location to try to go find some shifting rubble and see if I can power up my rebreather. So, all right, we have traveled. We have done all the setup stuff, so we are now on refresh. We draw a card. It is in a deliberate, and now we draw a path card. It is shifting rubble. Perfect. 1 progress, 3 harm, 6 progress threshold, obstacle. While this feature is attached to another card, progress cannot be added or removed to that card. And then Blue Mountain says attach it to a path card with the highest presence. And Red Crest is add a damage or injury to the attached card. All right. So I think what I'm going to do here, let us go. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to use, actually, no, I take that back. First things first, I'm going to spend 1 fitness. I'm going to kick out my sketchbook to put a vaulting rod down. I'm going to exhaust and use that to exhaust this so I don't worry about losing that. Now I'm going to try to connect Pakodo 4 plus 1 versus 1. So 5 versus 1. Minus 1, I succeed with 4. So I get 4 on here, and in the same test window, if you will, I'm going to spend 1 fitness to play Follow in Your Footsteps. After you succeed at a connect test, add progress to a feature equal to your effort, which unfortunately was a minus 1, not a plus 1, so I only get a 4. All right, so Yellow Sun is add 1 runoff to this card and suffer fatigue. Oh no, free card draw for me. How awful. And then here, if within reach is not illuminated, you stumble in the dark, suffer a fatigue. No, let me just make sure. Nope. I am not. Nothing is illuminated at the moment, so I suffer fatigue. Alright, let's spend a awareness to add that, and we recover a fatigue. That is the Kassendi technique. Shuffle my cards here, or clean up my cards here a little bit. Right, and that's about all I'm going to do. So we're going to rest, and then ready, and then refresh. Draw a card into another quiet. Right, new path card. It is the Cryptic Wayfinder. So that's the one where we can play around with and get a map if we want to. I don't think we're going to be doing much on that at the moment. Alright, I'm going to spend 2 to get my Ranger badge out. Actually, before I do that. Alright, before I do that, I'm going to do this. Spending an awareness energy to draw my other fatigue card, which is a Gauze Blade. I'm now going to try to traverse that. So I'm going to spend 2 fitness, and this card, Deliberate, if I have 6 or more cards in my hand, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it gains another triangle icon and an explore icon, so I'm going to do that. So I am 3 versus 1. 2, that takes me to 6, which succeeds in clearing this. So when I clear it, draw a challenge card. And of course it is the red crest that does me nothing. Oh, darn it. Ready all beings. Well, nothing was exhausted. Alright, we will spend 2 spirit now to get my Ranger badge out. Nothing I can do here beyond this, so let's see here. This is focus plus that 3. That's just not going to happen. Awareness of that 2. So I could potentially do that next turn, not this turn, but all right. We are going to be done. So we ready everything up. Get our energy back. Draw a card, which is another Vaulting Rod, and draw a path card. Hey, more Shifting Rubble. That is convenient for me. I swear I did shuffle that up. I didn't cheat. Alright, exhaust this. To exhaust that. Let's try to just do a plain traverse. 2v1. Sure, let's throw the Vaulting Rod in there to be 3v1. 0, I succeed. 3 progress. Red crest, nothing, 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 and that is exhausted. How many cards do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Only 8. Now there's no point in connecting with Pakoto. I've already got 8 tokens on him. I don't need more. I'm just going to end my turn. So it's really just going to be do a test, end my turn. Do a test, end my turn. Hope that I get things. So, yeah. But the only other thing, if I draw my other Cordo's technique, then I can prime the deck for another shifting. So I'm just going to end it. Draw a card. Lambent's Rig. Top of it is an Incendiary Lily. So one presence, 3 harm, 4 progress threshold. Awareness plus triangle 2 to harvest the medicinal needs. Careful not to gather too many to add 1 harm to this feature and either heal 1 energy or 1 injury from a ranger or discard 2 harm from a being. And if you clear it with harm, each ranger suffers an injury, and the Blue Mountain effect is add 1 harm to an active water feature. Okay. I'm going to exhaust Pakoto, use one of his to add to an aid card. I will then use the aid card to exhaust this. I am now going to go after that, 2 to 1. Plus 1, I succeed with 3. Okay, so that clears that. So I will need to deal with that, but I'm going to... so it's going to be Yellow Sun, so I'm going to deal with that in a second. Let's see, what is this? Oh, come on. Really? Red Crest again? Ready all beings. So, Pakoto readies. Woohoo. Alright. So that gets cleared. And now I do the Yellow Sun. I add 1 here. Get fatigued. Yellow Sun. I suffer fatigue. There are 3 or more active features. There are. Add 1 marker to this feature. So 1 feature, 2 feature, and 3 feature. And now we need to shuffle this. Well, that is really disappointing. Assuming there are an equal number of blue, yellow, and red challenge effects on here. Depending on what was discarded previously, effectively, I had a 1 in 3 chance on both of those to get the red crest, and I drew it on both. That's just not fair. I would like to complain to somebody's manager. Alright, we'll spend a yellow, put a token here to get a fatigue. Bold. I will exhaust that, spend a charge to ready myself up. I will spend another spirit. I will put it over here to get my other one, which is Pakoto. Ugh. Nothing else I can do here. I'm going to rest. Okay, we got Legacy of the Ancestors. As you travel the subterranean remnants of the Arcology, your heart grows heavy as your mind is filled with thoughts of how the original inhabitants of this place. How did the Estian civilization fall into such utter ruin? Each ranger chooses. Contemplate the question. Discard 2 focus to gain 1 spirit. Pay your respects. Discard 2 spirit to gain 1 focus. Or focus on the present. Suffer 2 fatigue to gain 1 fitness and 1 awareness. I guess I'll spend 2 focus to get a extra, or 2 spirit to get an extra focus. is this? All right. So my turn. Yeah. This is going well. I am going to try to remember my ranger training. And triangle. Do I have any triangles? I do not have any triangles. So 2 to 1. I succeed with 2. Attention translator and compassionate. I don't want either of those. There we go. It was the second. Actually, it was actually I think the last card in the deck because I put some down there. Okay, Blue Mountain. Everything is, or no, what is this? Yeah, all areas are considered illuminated. Nothing, 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 nothing. Add 1 damage to a water feature. Neither of those are water, so I don't think I'm going to have enough juice. So I'm going to spend 2 for Cordo's Instinct to go put 1 more of those on there. Is it? No, it was not a shifting. Okay. Shuffle this up. I don't think I am going to have enough juice to get to this. And that goes on top. I'm just going to choose to rest because I could try to do that, but I'm going to save up all my appropriate tokens to try to knock the shifting rubble test out. It's really my only hope at this point. So no cards there, so we put our energy back. Draw a card. It is... Yeah, this was I think the first one I put on the bottom of my deck, so... Alright, we get Shifting Rubble. Right, let's do that. Now, we are going to... So 2... Oh, this is discarded. So 2, 3, 4, 5. And that is as much juice as I've got. Zero. So was really hoping for a +1. Blue, everything is illuminated. Nothing, 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 nothing here. And we get another one there. All right. So I've got 3 cards. I don't see any way that I'm going to be able to pull this off. Unless I top deck one there, but even still, I'll need more than 2 turns to get this out. So I don't see any way this is happening, but we will press on. Refresh, draw. Oh, it is Silaro Mako. I am not going to bother to read his. That's at least something. We will... Did I draw a card? I did not draw a card there, did I? Bravest Ranger. All right, we're going to go 2 to 1. 0, I succeed. So I will get red crest. There's axe press. So nothing triggers off a red crest. So let's just draw a card. You've got to be kidding me. You have got to be kidding me. 3 for 3 on the one option that does not get... Oh, man. All right then. And that was back-to-back red crest. Well, I think my day is going to end here, folks. I'm going to choose to remember my ranger training. Actually, no, before I do that, let's do this simply. We are going to try that. We are going to let's try to just look at my deck first. 1 to 1. -1. I fail, but I get fatigued 1. If within reach is not illuminated, which it is not, I fatigue 1. And there are 3 or more features, so I do get to put 1 there. All right, I'm gonna put that there, recover these because I don't care. And my turn is done. I go to draw a card. I'm out of cards, so my day is over. That was disappointing. But that's the way randomness works sometimes. It's like Arkham pulling the tentacle all the time, or the -4, or whatever it is. Oh, well, c'est la vie. I guess day 9 we'll keep hanging out here and trying to get to the shifting rubble, and hopefully the next batch of rubble will have what I need. But if you made it this far, as always, thank you. I do appreciate it. If you like it, hit the like button. You want to see more, subscribe. You know the drill at this point. But anyway, if you made it this far, thank you for taking time to watch me play games. I do appreciate it. I will be back again soon, and I hope everybody has a great night.